welcome to Wendy's Colouring, and today is my, well, supposed finished pages. I have some finished pages, but not very much finished pages. Yeah, well, we'll see. These are still whips. I have not done either of these, so soulmates, I've not done any since the last time I've showed this, so it's literally the same as it was. Fail. So I've got that whip that I still haven't tackled, and this one in Flora, which I was working a little bit on last night, just a bit more in the background, just working back into the background effect so it's a little bit more glowy. Started doing a little bit more in this section here, still got a bit to do here and working a bit more into it, so I am still have done a little bit more on that, but it probably doesn't look much different to you if you look at the one my video before when I last showed this. So those two are still ongoing. Flora particularly, I definitely like to get that one done. I'd like to get Soulmates done as well, but yeah, for whatever reason I'm finding that page yeah, just a bit much to kind of get my head round. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know. I am struggling, I can't lie. I am struggling with motivation to want to do colouring at the moment, and I'm trying not to be too hard on myself about it. I had a lot of other things I wanted to get done over summer, a good chunk of which I have done, some I've not, because that's just life, isn't it? But yeah, I suppose that did distract me a little bit over my summer holidays. Just kind of, I do a lot of colouring normally, and things get neglected when you do that. So I kind of got to the point where I was like, no, I've got to sort some things out. I've done a lot of that, so I'm kind of pleased. I don't know, now I'm back to school, it's going to be busy again. It's a bit more difficult. I've got a new boss. It's not making life easy, but you know, that's life, isn't it? Got Enchantments by Angelique Scudamore. This, I think last time I showed this, it was a whip. I had finished this for the start of August, but I'd literally only finished this on one of the colour by numbers, so I didn't do a video because of it. This is a mixture of lots of my acrylic markers. I started doing it with the grass markers that I've got from Amazon. I think they're in my last haul that I've recorded, but I've not released because I haven't edited it. I've got a set of grass markers. Anyway, so I started with those, literally just with the acrylic marker and a wet brush. So I literally apply it to a bit of the page and then just bleed it out with the wet brush until it vanishes the ink that's left, ink, paint, whatever we're calling it. So you kind of get dark bits and then you get much lighter bits, and I kind of wanted a kind of bit more uneven background so it's not all the same kind of light in the background. What I was finding with them is that they're all kind of a similar tone, and they're quite, although there obviously are quite dark colours in there, I wanted something that's a bit brighter. So I did get my Deco Brush acrylic pens by Karen out, because although the inks are not as opaque in those, they are much brighter colours and the pigments are quite a bit stronger, I think. And obviously for the butterflies I did want it a little bit brighter, so I have used, particularly on the butterflies, I have used my Deco Brush pens, the Karen ones as well. There are still some of the grasp ones in there as well. I have also used a bit of Langu glitter pens, the odd bit of glitter here and there. You can see a little bit in the blue butterfly there, and there's little bits in the here and there. There's quite a few bits of little glitter pens. I've used a few of the little Langu normal gel pens for, again, where there's just finer things that I wanted to have a little bit more control of, and a little bit, though not very much, a little bit of Derwent Chroma Flow. I think I did just use white here and there, and a couple of areas that I just wanted the tone a little bit darker in places, a couple of bits in the wings there, I think. So I did use that as well. They surprisingly took me ages and ages. I was kind of thinking I'd work a lot in this book just with acrylics, because the other page that I've done in this book, I think I did with my Artex paint markers. the white ones with the cotton inside, and then Artex pencils over the top. I think I prefer that actually as a page. Now I'm looking at the two. It's a bit more vivid, isn't it? I think I've done a lot more coloured pencil on this page, and I think I do prefer it when there's a bit more coloured pencil. It just gives it a little bit, you can get a little bit darker colours over the top, but yeah, I kind of didn't this time. I just kind of stuck with the acrylic markers, and like I say, I did very little pencil on this. It's mainly just acrylic paint pens, which is a nice change. I think I did get a bit bored of it though, if I'm really honest with myself. I think it did bore me a bit. Anyway, at least it's finished. It's finished. What else? I got this done as well before August, so this was in July. Best of the Grand Classiques. This is a very old book now, I think. Oh, I thought that was my page marker, but clearly it's not. That is my page marker. So I've done this one. This was mainly in the grass markers, although I think I did use a guangna for the nose, although it's a little bit liney, which I'm not loving. Don't know quite why. The grass do dry a lot more matte. I did watch somebody the other day that was saying they did the black lime work with just a normal kind of Unipin or Sakura or something like that, so I might try that on the next one that I do in this page instead of doing the black line work with an acrylic pen. I just didn't think whether they'd go through. I don't know, one way to find out, isn't that? I suppose it is reasonably thick paper that's in these books, so maybe not. Anyway, I only did the one. I've done a few in here though now, so I'm reasonably pleased that it wasn't a complete waste me buying it. Best of Le Grand Classiques. Again, not the kind of book I generally work in. What else? I'd also started this that I seem to have managed to crease the front cover of. What have I done here? Made a mess. So this is one of the Erie's tracing books. This is Tracing Around the World. And I hadn't worked in this book before, so I was quite pleased to get this finished. It was quite fun. It's a little bit more of a simpler page, fighting with a bookmark and a post-it note now. A little bit more of a simpler page, but yeah, reasonably fun. Most of this is in Luminance, Caran d'Ache Luminance. I quite like how they've behaved on this paper. I'll probably use Luminance in this book again. I should have done the background before I started working on all the elephants and all of that, but I didn't because I'm a fool like that. So then I've ended up having to do it with colour pencil, which is a little bit of a chore if I'm really honest. I should have thought about that beforehand and just done a bit of a gelato background. I did draw in all these kind of greenery in the background because it's literally just the elephant and this little flag that the monkey's carrying, and obviously the umbrella. There is no kind of horizon line or obviously the grasses or the soil, so I drew all that bit in and then I've worked in. I think I did these grasses in Holbein greens just because I do like the trio of greens that they have for things like grass. I quite like the colour palette in them, but everything else apart from that, even the greens on here, are Luminance. Although that I think I have used the same looking at them. And then there's just again a little bit of Langu glitter pens, shiny pens as they want to call them, in the sign and in the kind of fabric bits and pieces. Again, not showing brilliantly, but can just occasionally see a little bit of it, and in the little sections on the seat. But yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's quite simple. I just should have been a bit more kind of thinking about what I was going to do with the background before I started working on the elephant, because it would have been so much easier to have done that sky in gelato. I don't love it in pencil, but you know, you do these things. I just wanted to colour the elephant, so I did, and then thought, oh, you idiot. You could have made that much easier to work on. They're much more simple in this book. Like, look at this. There's not a huge amount of line work on some of them. I think some pages probably aren't for me, but I do like colouring little Russian dolls. I have a small collection of them. Finland page is quite nice, and Sweden, isn't it? So I don't know how well you can actually see them on. We've got a bit of window reflection as well, sorry. But yeah, it's a little bit of a different book. I quite like the paper in it. This was second hand. I didn't do this one, so I have got a couple of pages that I need to think about what I'm going to do with them. If I do those pages, I don't know. It's not like I've any shortage of books, is it? But eerie tracing book from around the world. Finally got one finished in that, which was uncoloured. Then this was in my, again, it's not colouring. I have got some more colouring after this one, but I thought I'd squeeze this one in the middle. Sticker mosaics, amazing animals that I got. I think I got it from the Works. So these are literally, if you've not seen them, I'm sure you have. They're literally like little jigsaws of sticker bits that you fill to make up your pieces. So I've done the red panda one, which is cute. This one, which was a nightmare because all the stickers were incorrectly cut. So every sticker that you've put down, I don't know how well I'll be able to see, but yeah, every sticker you've put down, like this one, you then have to cut out the extra bit of the sticker that's been incorrectly cut and stick that down as well. So this little like fine like frame around it on every single page. But I quite like the little penguin, so I was determined to do it, and I'm quite pleased that I've got it done, she says, pulling bits of it up. Ugh. Quite pleased I got it done. So I did the penguin, I've done the fish. I'm sure somebody knows what they're called, but I'm not into my fish, so I don't know. I have put the little thing in that I'm going to put in my journal if I ever get myself organised to do any of my journal. I've done the wolf, I've done the owl, I've done the zebra, I've done the peacock, and that's pretty much where I'm up to. So I've done half the book at this point in one go, pretty much. So I've got, what have I got left? I've got deer, some kind of bird, octopus, some more birds, the lion looks good, a bunny, and a tiger left. So I've got about halfway through. I could have quite easily just carried on, but I thought, let's not do the entire book in 1 month when that's a bit daft, isn't it? So I've quite enjoyed doing those, which is simple but quite fun. Then lovely Emma from Storm's Eye did send me the Cute and Christmassy book, and although it was August, I thought, you know what, I am going to have a go at it. So I think this image is available on Instagram from her if you want to colour it and you haven't got this book. Nip over to her Instagram, Storm's Eye Design. But I did this page with it. Obviously I've done mine in the book. Yeah, and I did enjoy it. I wasn't sure what to do about the background, and I have ummed it, and I'm still not sure I love the background of it because it's quite dark, but I was kind of going for the tree lights are on but the rest of the room lights are not on, so you've just kind of got those lights going on. I don't know if it quite works or not, but I did enjoy having a go, and the little fairy lights were a bit of a challenge. Again, not totally sure how successful they are really, but I enjoyed the challenge of it and giving it a go. So this is mainly in Derwent Chroma Flows. I think I've normally used luminance in Emma's books before, but I did quite like the Chroma Flows in it, and I did use Prismacolors for this kind of illuminated background just because they are a little bit easier to blend into each other, as particularly as I wasn't totally sure what I was doing and whether it was going to work. The glittery bits are Langu gel pens, and there are some normal Langu gel pens as well, just for kind of the odd bit of line work that I've taken out here and there in it. But yeah, I've quite enjoyed doing this little cute angel on the top of the tree, and doing the little poinsettias around the edge. They did take me quite a bit of time, the poinsettias, and that is the advantage of the Chroma Flows over the Prismacolors for these, because you can keep that sharper point just a little bit longer in the Chroma Flows, I think, compared to a Prisma, just because they are a little bit harder than those. So the two together work quite nicely in these sections, and I quite like the Langu glitter on her dress. I think that's worked really effectively as well, nice and sparkly. And her little halo is a Langu glitter as well, although I'm not managing to get the light on it very well. But yeah, I did enjoy that first one. This is a lovely Christmas book, obviously out at the moment. There's some really nice, there's some smaller ones at the back if you want a little bit of an easier ride, you don't fancy doing a bigger page, but there's a full flip of it on my channel if you want a better look. I'm sure there's a more flips about at the moment, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and I really love the paper that Emma uses. It's really nice. So quite often, normally, I do a bit of acrylic marker base. Because it's one-sided, that's fine. Just speeds up the process a little bit. I don't know if I do. Oh yeah, I did do a little bit. I think I put a grey base on at first, and then I didn't like it. Put a little bit of a base on the stars and just the wooden frame, but I didn't do a huge amount on it. And I've kind of worked over most of the acrylic, the alcohol base anyway, really. But yeah, my first one in this lovely Christmas book, cute and Christmassy colouring book by Stormside Design. Then what else did I get done? I have done, it's just fallen on me, let's move it. I have done first page in Birdomania by, I can never remember, and I should know the answer to this. Oops, you're probably shouting at me now. Ravina Bascarat. So I've done the first page in this. I think this, again, it's a really nice book, considering this is kind of a self-publish company that she uses. I wish more artists were using this self-publishing company, because it's a nice hardback. I think the paper is really nice. I have done this one as a starting point in it, and I have really quite enjoyed it. It did take me quite a bit of time. Let me shut the window because the reflection's getting a little much, isn't it? Hold on. Back again. Without the sun reflection, as nice as it is to see a bit of sun. So yeah, I have done a watercolour background, so metallic watercolour background. I didn't do anything to this page first. I've literally just painted this straight on, and as you can probably just about see, this is, in fact, I'll show you the back page because it's easier to see. It's stayed pretty flat, this page, and I have done 2 layers of metallic, because quite often when metallic first layer isn't it. These are some metallics that I've got from Temu, if I can say it properly. That will be in my other part of my August haul, which I should have edited and put up by now, but for some reason my brain didn't want to do it, so I haven't done it. They're only really cheap. I'll add them when I put that video on. But yeah, I've been really pleased with them. They are really cheap watercolours, and they've got a really nice finish on them. And then pencil wise, what did I do? Prismacolors for most of this. Yeah, and I think I've done reasonably, because there's quite a lot of little bits of feathers and bits and pieces. I do worry about feathers sometimes, trying to make it look a bit more feathery. But I thought, you know what, I'm just going to colour it in. I'm not going to worry about whether it looks like a real feather or not today. I'm just going to do it how I want to do it. There's plenty of Langer gel pens, again, for some of the black line work, particularly around the feather sections around here. I didn't want little black lines around all the edges of the feathers. And there's some of the plus Langus in this as well, the slightly thicker ones in places. But yeah, mainly just colour pencil work, some colours, watercolours in the background. Yeah, I have really enjoyed working on this page, and I do really like it. And it's not often I say that about my own work. I'd really like this as a wallpaper for my lounge, but sadly this is not a repeat. So the back end of this tail is not on the other side of this image. So even if I could get someone to print it, it's not a repeat, so I'd have to do quite a lot of work to make it a repeat, because the flowers, the bottom end of this flower isn't on the top either, so it's a long way off being a repeat, so I can't have it as a wallpaper. But I'd really like this as a wallpaper in my lounge, because I do love a bit of metallic in my wallpaper, and a bit of metallic purple and blue. Yeah, I'd really like that. Sadly, I can't, unless I'm going to do a lot of work to it. But yeah, I have enjoyed it, and I do like this book a lot. There's a nice style to it. I resisted doing my favourite page, which I think will be that one, as I thought, no, I'm going to see how materials and things go down, and now I know the watercolour. Metallics in particular work really nicely on it. I did enjoy that page, so it may pop back next month. I'm not sure. I'm kind of not going to put too much pressure on myself next month. I'm busy at work, like I say, there's things going on. So I kind of feel I need to, yeah, just see how things go with that before I put pressure on myself to get 50 pages done. But I do like this book, so I would like to do a bit more. But I haven't worked in the flower one, so maybe I should go into that one next. I don't know. Provisionally, I'm going to say it may be back next month. It might be the flower one. But Birdomania, really like it. If you can get the premium edition. I don't think I'd get the Amazon one. They're nice images to have a play about with different materials, and that book is much better for it. Then I think what is my complete favourite book, and that's saying something with 500 plus books, Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Leidenhall Oberg. I have finally got my little mermaid finished. Again, I didn't do the background before I started working on her, which was pretty silly of me. So I have done a complete colour pencil background, but I kind of quite like it. Quite often I tend to do a metallic watercolour background, so it was quite nice to do something a little bit different for a change and just go with the colour pencil. It does give you a bit more control over the colour changes and things. I have really loved doing this page. There's just something about her drawings that I just find very appealing. This is mainly, again, in luminance, just because they happen to have been on my desk. And I've got a few, those whips were mainly in luminance as well, so they're kind of on my desk for those, so it's just been easier to carry on using them. I think I did use a little bit of Derwent, what are they called? I always forget. The brown ones, what are they called? Drawings. I do use a little bit of Derwent drawing just to smooth the skin finish, because sometimes luminance can leave a bit of kind of texture on the page, and I do like to flatten that, so I quite often use Derwent drawing if I've got a colour that's appropriate at the time to flatten the skin a little bit. But most of the rest is just luminance. I don't even think I used any Holbein on this time. I think it is mainly just luminance. Pen work, there is definitely some Lango on here. Some gel pens, definitely the bubbles, the white edges of the bubbles was Lango. But I've also used my favourite Guanars as well on here as well. Quite a bit in the flowers. And on the fish. I know getting rid of the line work in the hair I think was mainly Guangnars. So I'm tending to do a little mix. The Langus, obviously they're super fine, aren't they, some of them, and they're really handy. I don't love the colours of them quite often. They're not very natural colours, some of them. So sometimes I find myself, even though I would have preferred a thinner pen, I end up getting out the Guangnar just because I prefer the colour match to what I'm working with. But it depends what you want. It's the yellows in particular. They seem quite bright. They're a little bit fluorescenty, the yellows, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm tending to use a bit of a mix at the moment. I think I did use a little bit of glitter gel, did I, here and there? You can't really see it very much today. It's because I've shut the blind now. We haven't got quite the same light. I think I did use a little bit of the glitter in her little scales there on her head. But yeah, I really enjoyed working on this. It's a lovely page. Again, might pop back this month. I know she's got a new one that's not far off being printed, has she? And she's got some postcards that are on the way as well. But I'd still like to do a bit more in this one yet. I've kind of done a few at the front and a few at the back, and not so much in the middle. Don't quite know why that is, but yeah, one of my favourite books. Fairy Tale and Folklore colouring book. And that's pretty much all the colouring that I've done this month. But I've also, can I reach it? I've also made, if I don't knock it over, I've also made my little Lego orchid. I quite like trying to grow orchids. I'm better at killing them than I are at growing them, but my current ones are doing okay at the moment. So I've made that. That was quite fun while I was off. Let me put it back down. I've also been doing a little bit, reach it, and get that out of my little bag. I've done a little bit of my, these I started maybe 10, maybe 15 years ago. So I made Christmas cards for all my family that had one of these in as a Christmas decoration. My little beads are going to go everywhere now because that is what happens when you open the tub. that have these as a Christmas decoration as the centre of the card, but I never finished my own for my own tree. So yeah, I have been doing a little bit more on the beading of it. So I've finished this side of the beading, and as you can probably just about see, I've started doing some of the beading on the front. I did them gold on my original ones, I think, but I'm thinking I'm going to fill the whole of the stitched area with a selection of beads as well, and normally I do a kind of dangly thing off the bottom as well, but I might bead the back as well. I'm not fully decided, but I've been doing a little bit of that. These are little AB glass beads, so what they're called, silver lined red ABs. So they're very pretty, kind of multicolored. They're red, but you see the AB coating, so they're kind of multi-tone. I know it's not for everybody to be interested in these things. I totally get it. I think I just needed a bit of a change, and I was sat in the garage waiting for my car to have its service as well, so I did a bit while I was doing that, you know, jobs that you have to do. So I did sit doing them in the garage for a bit as well. Seems a bit of a girly thing to do in the garage, isn't it? But it was past time a bit. So I've done a bit of that, still got loads of that to do. Will I get it finished for this Christmas? Probably not, knowing me. I've also bought, again, don't know why I'm showing you this really, just because it's here, a little bee embroidery thing that I'm going to do that ends up being, is there a bigger picture of it? Oh yeah, ends up being like a 3D bee. So he's a bit raised and his wings are actually loose. You've got to wire the edge of the wings and then burn around the excess fabric so that it doesn't fray. So it's only teeny tiny. I'll show you the size of the fabric thing that comes with. Sorry for any reflective glare and noise, because I know not everybody likes it, but they're only teeny tiny little sized things. So I haven't started it yet, but I've got that I'm thinking I might do a little bit. I suspect that won't be this month. I'll put him away later when I'm talking to you. And then the last thing that I've got that I've started ages ago is a stamped cross stitch kit. So I have a schnauzer dog, as you might have heard me mention before, so it's literally just a cross stitch of this image. So I'm in the process of blocking in the black work. I'm thinking I'm going to follow the instructions to get the colours on, but I'm thinking I'm probably not going to do it as a cross stitch when it comes to all these hair marks, because I think they would be better as stitch marks rather than cross stitch. I started this last year. This is as far as I got to it, so they're not things that are just recent, they're just things that have been going on in the background. That's making a lot of noise. I'll just move it for now. Things that have been going on in the background that I was doing as well. I kind of find this a little bit easier when I've had a bad day at work, because you can literally just stitch up and down the lines, and it doesn't require a huge amount of brain involvement. So it's kind of like diamond painting but with stitch, I suppose, when you've got these. I prefer these kind of stamped printed ones, because you don't have to do all that laborious counting and then realising you've counted wrong, and I can't be bothered with that, especially not after I've been at work. Whereas this, having it printed on already, is a bonus. And then once you've stitched it all, you literally just pop it in some cold water and all this dye will come out. Again, it'll probably take me years, but you know, I've started it. So those are also going on as well. I'll put it down. And that's pretty much all the things I've been working on. I'm not thinking I'm going to do a colouring plans video this month, because I haven't got a huge amount done, so I've still got a lot of books that I wanted to work on, but I was going to add in, and I thought I would just show you on this video so that you've got an idea. I thought I was going to just add in some of these, so I haven't started in Lulu's House of Wonder, and this is a very cute book. I haven't picked a particular image. I think I'm just going to go with what I feel like going, but there's some very cute images in this, isn't it? So I'm thinking that'll be a fun book to work in, and even just flicking through I can kind of see a few pages that I'm like, oh yeah, I do quite fancy that. So that's got put in. Bunnies and Dragons by Heather Gross. This is also very cute. Bit of fun. One-sided, so you can use whatever you like. I think I'm going to add that in for September. Obviously this has just come in last week, and it's a bit early for Halloween, but it kind of doesn't feel like it's all too Halloween-y to me. There's quite a bit that I can work on, considering we're kind of hitting into autumn now, so I might make a start in that if I don't feel like doing the page that I've already started. I seem to be struggling to make myself work on, so maybe I might do a little bit in that one. And then I also did get this Manet book that's cute little pages in here, so I might make a start on that. Again, lovely paper, feels quite smooth. I'm thinking I'd probably get away with a little bit of water-based marker maybe in here that might blend, but that's cute. I quite like to start this. I do like this Voyage Zen, that again, it's a Marabou book. Again, not really thought about a page yet. Maybe not a flowery page. I don't know, possibly a page like this where I've got a little bit of decorative fabric, some nice hair work, some flowers. That's quite a nice one. There's a few pages in here I quite like. Probably not a landscape page if I'm really honest. These are quite nice as well. Maybe even a quarter like these with the dragons, because they're quite nice. I'm certainly not kind of tackling anything huge, I don't think is where I am. I'm just not in the place to deal with a big task at the moment, because I think I'll just fail. And then I haven't started in this Princesses, that again I've got second hand, so maybe one of these, probably going to give away the results here, so I don't know which of these I fancy as a starting point. But yeah, maybe one of those as well. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm going to continue with the pile that I had already in my August colouring plans, because there's quite a few pages in there I hadn't got to that I'd still like to try and get to if I can persuade my head to do any of it. Yeah, so sorry for being a bit of a disaster. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm kind of just taking it easy and going with the flow. I think there's no point trying. You can't force yourself to do a hobby, can you? You either want to do it or you don't. Still love all the books. I think I'm just having a bad couple of months, and I'm sure it'll bounce back. We shall see. But yeah, I don't know what my next video will be. We'll see. I might make loads, I might make none. I'm so sorry. Sorry to Kay as well, because I've not done your journaling video that I did mean to do, but I've not done my journal either, so I'm just a disaster all the way round. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, if there is anybody that's watched, because I've ruined my algorithm, but you know, it's life. I hope you're having a wonderful time, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.